Hello, welcome or welcome back. Last week, I talked about my entire fitness journey. If you have not seen that video already, I will link it down below in the description. But I figured the perfect follow-up to that video would be all the things that I wish I knew before starting my fitness journey. Back then, I had literally no idea what I was doing. And if I knew these things back then, I would have saved myself a lot of hardship, a lot of time, and probably would have progressed a lot faster. So today, I have my top 8 things that I wish I knew before starting my fitness journey. Let's just jump straight into it because we have a lot to discuss. So the first thing I wish I knew was that food is fuel. And when I say this, I'm talking more from a calorie perspective because at the beginning of my fitness journey, I was trying to eat very little. I was trying to restrict myself to 1,200 calories, which that does not fit everyone. Honestly, most people, and I'm 5'9", so clearly that was much too little for me. You need to eat the adequate amount of calories in order to grow and build lean body mass. If you are extremely restricting your calories for a long time, you sure as heck are not going to be building muscle. If anything, you're probably going to be losing muscle. So please remember to properly fuel your body. And in order to have the best workouts, be able to perform your best in the gym, you also need a good amount of food. If you are not eating very much, you're probably not going to be having a very good workout because you just do not have enough energy. So that is another motivator in eating enough. Not only do you need it to build more muscle, but you need to have it just to have the energy to work out. Obviously, everyone's calories is going to be a little bit different depending on your height, your activity level, so on. So that is something that you will need to figure out, but just remember that less is not better. You need food to grow, you need food to feel your best, and not to mention, you need to make sure you eat enough just to get in your micronutrients and all of your vitamins. If you're not eating barely any calories, you're probably going to have a hard time getting in all of your macros. Now, my second thing I wish I knew before starting my fitness journey kind of plays into the first one, but has its own spin. The type of food you eat matters. There was one point in my fitness journey when I was around 18 and 19 where literally every day I'd have protein shake, Jack in the Box, and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And I thought that was okay because I was hitting my protein goal and the number of calories I needed. But let's be real, Ben & Jerry's ice cream and Jack in the Box, it's not a very well-balanced day. I think sometimes when you are just focused on aesthetics and building muscle and the way you look, it can be kind of easy to ignore health and like long-term fitness. Because at the point I am now in my journey, I really care about my health and I know I need to properly fuel my body to make sure I have enough energy for the gym, making sure I'm getting enough calories, make sure I get my micronutrients, so my vitamin and minerals, fruits and veggies, lean protein, so on, because not only is that going to help my performance in the gym and help me reach my goals, but also that is going to contribute to long-term health. At the end of the day, being fit and active and eating healthy is about long-term health. A lot of people say, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but really what matters is your quality of life. If you are eating like crap all the time, you're probably not going to feel your best. So make sure that you are eating whole nutrient dense foods, fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, because eating an overall healthy, well-balanced diet is so important for long-term health and preventing preventable diseases down the line, like heart disease. Sure, you can eat like crap, and as long as you're in a calorie deficit, you can lose weight. But if you're eating like crap, you're going to feel like crap, and you're also not helping yourself down the line because you're not giving yourself and your body the vitamins and minerals and all the nutrients it needs. Your body does not need fast food, french fries, and burgers every day. Obviously, I am an advocate for everything in moderation, so obviously it's okay time to time to have a burger and fries or eat your cookies, but at the end of the day, it is about an overall balanced, healthy diet. It doesn't have to be 100% super strict all the time, but just keep your health in mind. Number 3, you will never look like anyone else. This was really hard for me to accept when I first started lifting and working out because I was always on Instagram or on YouTube looking at all these fitness influencers. I was like, oh, if I just work out like them, then I can look like them. Or if I do this, eat like them, then I can look like them. But remember, you are your own person and you can have the same amount of muscle as someone else. You can do the exact same workout. You can eat the exact same foods as them. You will never look like them because you are your own person, and that is perfectly fine. It's great to use other people as inspiration and to get ideas from them, but you shouldn't look at someone and be like, I want to look exactly like them. because honestly, it'll never happen. That person that you're looking at online, they could be 5'10" and you're 5'2". Muscle looks different on everyone. Everyone has different genetics. Just be your best self. That is actually something that I have come to appreciate a lot over the years. I like that everyone is their own person. Everyone looks unique. Someone else can look great. That doesn't mean you don't look great. Someone else looking great does not take away from you looking great, if that makes sense. You know that saying, comparison is the thief of joy? This is so true, and that is so relevant to your fitness journey. Do not compare someone else's progress to your own. Don't compare someone else's journey to your own. You have your own story, and this is your own journey. So just appreciate how far you have come and the effort you have put in, and remember that you look amazing too. I understand wanting to have aesthetic goals because I'm the same way. I want to grow my quads, or maybe I want to grow my hamstrings, but compare your progress to your own, not to someone else's. So say you want to build up your hamstrings, take your progress pictures, work on that in the gym, make sure you're hitting your calories and your macros and being good with your nutrition, and compare yourself over the weeks and your progress pictures over the weeks to see how far you have come, so that you are your only competition. You should only be comparing yourself to yourself. I hate seeing people hate on themselves because they see the way someone else looks. Just because that person looks great does not mean that you don't. You are your own person. You have your own fantastic qualities, and you thinking you're less than someone else is not good for anyone, and it's a really unhealthy mindset. So please be kind to yourself and lift yourself up. And when you set goals, do it with good intention. Don't do it because you hate yourself. You should always love yourself throughout your journey, and know that if you are even trying, that is one step in the right direction. Not everyone even gets to that point. So give yourself a pat on the back for even making that step. Now, for a couple of gym things, hitting close to failure and focusing on progressive overload are the keys to seeing progress and gains in the gym. Outside of nutrition, of course. If your nutrition is crap and you're not getting your protein and so on, then you're not going to see as much gains. But I'm talking strictly from a lifting perspective. If you are brand new in the gym, you can probably get away with just having a lighter workout, going through the motions, focusing on your form. You don't need to go super duper hard, because you will have the infamous newbie gains because you are brand new. You're still getting accustomed to the gym and to lifting. Your body has not adapted yet. But the more advanced you get in lifting and the more years you spend in the gym, the more attention you have to pay attention to your intensity and progressive overload in the gym. I have definitely had times in the past where I didn't really focus on progressive overload or hitting close to failure. I was really just going through the motions. And I can tell you from experience, I did not see nearly any or very good gains during that time period. Once I started really tracking my workouts and pushing myself hard every time, that's when I really saw the progress and started seeing the growth that I desired. So when I say hitting close to failure, I mean that the last couple reps of your set should be very difficult. I usually say leave 1 to 2 in the tank, but if you finish your set of say 10 reps and you're like, I could probably do another 5 to 10, but I won't, that's not hitting close to failure, and you're probably not going to progress if you do that over a long period of time. You really need to push yourself. It should be pain, but in like the best way possible. And then for progressive overload, I keep my workouts all down in my phone so I can track the weight and reps I did every single week. Say 1 week you're doing shoulder press, you did 20 pounds for 6 reps. Great. Next week, try to hit 7 reps. And then the following week, 8 reps. Say you're trying to only stick to 6 to 8 reps. Once you can get 8 or more reps, up the weight. So now that you've been able to hit 20 pounds for 8 reps, go up to 25. And then you might go back down to 6 reps when you go up in weight, but that is still a form of progressive overload. You should always be trying to at least get another rep or try to increase the weight a little bit or the intensity to focus on progressive overload. Ideally, this would be every single week. Obviously, life happens. Not every week you're gonna feel your strongest. So there might be the occasional week where you can't go up in weight or reps. That's okay. Just try again next week. Just make sure you are really pushing yourself and you are keeping that intensity up. And you are really tracking your workouts to focus on progressive overload. If you go in the gym and you just kind of lift, you don't track your workouts, you don't know what weight you did, you don't know how many reps, that's not going to be effective long term. I highly recommend writing down your workouts and keeping track of your sets and reps throughout the weeks. If you want to do this in your notes on your phone, that is good. If you want to do it the old school way and write it in a notebook, that works. If you want to do it on Excel, Whatever floats your boat, just make sure you are paying attention to these things. Number 5, quality sets over quantity. This kind of goes back to number 4, where you should be hitting close to failure. My thing is, a lot of times you hear like 3 to 4 sets for everything, blah, blah, blah. I would rather you do 2 sets if they're really high intensity and you are tired after those 2 sets. 2 to 3 really good sets means a lot more than 4 to 5 meh sets. Another thing with keeping lower sets that are really high intensity, I feel like that also keeps you pretty motivated in the gym, because if you have 2 working sets for an exercise, after 1 set, you might be like, I am so tired, but I only have 1 more set, let me push through this. But if you have 4 sets and you're tired after 1 set, you're like, let me save a little bit more in the tank so these next 3 sets aren't as hard. So simply decreasing the amount of sets can automatically make you more intense in the gym, because you know you can push through 2 sets, but you can't push through 4 sets of 1 exercise if you're already super tired after 1 set. And this also saves time in the gym. If you are doing 3 to 5 sets on every single exercise you do in the gym, you're probably gonna be there for a while. But if you're just doing 2 to 3 really hard sets on each exercise, you're gonna be out of there a lot quicker. Rather than 2 to 3 hours in the gym, with this method and focusing on quality sets, you can be out of the gym in an hour and you will have had a better workout and you will have more gains down the line, because your intensity is up there and you're really focused on your time in the gym, rather than trying to get through all these dang sets that you programmed in your workout for no reason. Focus on quality sets over quantity. If you are super tired after 2 to 3, you pushed yourself to the limit, close to failure, stop after 3. There's no reason to do 5 if you're already done after 3. Number 6, this is one of those beginner tips that I feel like I should have known, but I just did not. The scale does not tell you everything. I'm going to show you a comparison so you can see for yourself. In this picture, I am 165 pounds. In this picture, I'm also 165 pounds. If I only looked at the number on the scale, I'd be like, I made no progress. I'm the same weight all these years later. I look no different. But clearly, these 2 pictures look very different. So please make sure you have different forms of data to track your progress. Obviously, the scale has its time and place. Say you're in a calorie deficit and you're trying to lose weight. I recommend not losing more than 0.5% to 1% of your body weight per week. And also, the scale fluctuates for many reasons: hormones, water weight, bloating, maybe you ate later in the night than one other night. So if you weigh yourself every day, take all your weigh-ins from a week and take the average. And then you can do that week to week. And if you are in your calorie deficit and you're sticking to it, you should see that downtrend over the course of several weeks. But 2 things I much prefer over the scale is progress pictures and measurements. And I know it can be scary to take progress pictures when you're first starting. You're like, I don't want to look at myself like this. Trust me, I wish I took even more progress pictures back when I started, because it shows you where you started and how far you have come. And I love progress pictures so much, and it shows you differences that you will not see on the scale. Maybe your waist is a little smaller and your glutes got a little bigger. You can see that in progress pictures, but you're not going to see that on the scale. This also measurements. I like to take measurements every 1 to 2 weeks, kind of see where I am at. Say you're trying to lose weight, you want a smaller waist, take your measurements, see how they have decreased over the weeks. Like the pictures I just showed you, obviously my measurements were several inches different between the 2. Like if you're not seeing progress on the scale, 1, take progress pictures and then take your measurements. The scale might say the same weight, but your waist or your legs might be down an inch, and that is progress. Progress is not just about your weight. There are so many other factors. You can also get your body fat tested, but that is a little harder to do than just taking pictures or measurements. So those are my 2 biggest recommendations, because those were huge factors in me staying motivated on my journey. Just focusing on the scale is such a demotivator. And outside of progress pictures and measurements, even focus on how you feel. Do you feel better eating healthier? Do you feel better working out? How is your strength in the gym? Are you making progress with your weights and your reps in the gym? There's so many other things to track your progress. So just know you should not be focusing on the scale so dang much. Number 7, this is more of a hack that I learned, if anything. For the illusion of a small waist, build up your back and your legs. Before I started lifting, I thought I was destined to be like SpongeBob. I never thought I'd have a small waist. Through lifting and building muscle, I really saw how you can change your body and kind of how you can change the illusion of your proportions. So put on some mass on your legs, do your quads, do your hamstrings, do your glutes, do your back day, and build up those things, and you will get the illusion of a smaller waist. Now, for my number one thing I wish I knew before starting my fitness journey, and honestly, my biggest tip out of all the things I talked about in this video, consistency is key. If you cannot stick to something long term and it's not sustainable, it's not worth doing. I know this is so cliche, but it is not a diet and it's not a random 4-week workout program. This should be a lifestyle change. You should be creating habits and routines and things you can stick to long term. That is one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of keto and carnivore and all those things. Obviously, some people can stick to that forever and that's what they like. Those are exceptions. But I know a lot of people hop on diets and fad diets like that because they think it's an easy way to lose weight. But if you cannot sustain that long term, it's not worth doing. You need to find something you can stick to day in and day out. Another example I have for this is your workout routine. Like, say you have kids, a family, a full-time job. That's a lot on your plate, and you set yourself up to go to the gym 6 days a week. When you know you can't do that, you're setting yourself up to fail. If you start somewhere more realistic, say 3 to 4 times a week in the gym, you can make that work in your schedule. And then if you can stick to that and you want to increase that, great, go ahead, but don't start off at 6 days a week when you're not sure if you can even sustain that. I want this to be something that you can do long term and you can stick to for the rest of your life and enjoy. If you hate going to the gym every single day, you need to find something else that you do enjoy and something you can do long term. Same thing goes for diet. If you love carbs, going keto probably is not realistic for you. Try adding some fruits and vegetables to your diet. Try focusing on more whole nutrient dense foods. You can still have your carbs, you can have your oatmeal, sweet potato, so on, but just make sure you are starting to make healthy habits, eating some healthier foods, adding fruits and veggies. It's not all about taking things away, but try adding things. Fitness and nutrition and all these things should be bettering your life. It should not be hindering it. So please find something that you can stick to long term and you know you can do day in, day out, week to week, month to month, long term. Consistency is the key. If you want to lose weight, you need to stick to your calorie deficit every week. If you want to gain weight, you have to stick to your calorie surplus every week. If you want to gain muscle, you need to make sure your workouts are effective and you're focusing on progressive overload and your quality sets and hitting close to failure. This is not something you should go into thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then I never have to do it again. Sure, you can lose weight in 90 days, but if you go back to exactly how you were before and the way you were eating, not working out, you will just gain it back. So that is why it is so important to be consistent and find something that is sustainable long term. I can talk about this all day long, but you get my drift. And those are the 8 things that I wish I knew before starting my fitness journey. And if you are brand new or just starting your fitness journey, I hope this helps to prevent you from making the same mistakes I did. And if you are further into your fitness journey, I hope you maybe learned something from this video, or we had some similar things that we wish we knew before starting our fitness journeys. Well, let me know your thoughts on this video down in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. I will definitely get back to you. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. And I will catch you all in the next one. I love you. Bye.